sure it's going to be exceptional. And the title of it today is Constructive Conflict. Please join me in welcoming Tracy.
Interview time. The question, please describe a time you had a disagreement with your manager and how you dealt with it. The answers varied. They mostly dealt upon the theme of resolving the conflict as quick as we can, if not avoiding it at all. We had one person actually tell us, I don't disagree with my manager, I just do whatever they say. So they were out pretty quick. But being on the other side of this question and having some time to think about it, let me give you what my answer now is if I happen to be asked this question in the future. Conflict doesn't mean a throwdown, a screaming match, or some kind of WWE reenactment in the office. It just means a difference of opinion. This is actually healthy, and I thrive in this environment. If there's no one questioning my opinion and making me look at why I have the beliefs I do, then I have to ask myself, what's being overlooked? Today I'd like to share with you why conflict in the workplace is beneficial and how to do it in a great, constructive way. First off, you have to have a desire to learn. You have to ask questions. If I decide this, then what happens? What are the consequences going to be? We've probably all seen decisions made in a vacuum, and they never benefit anyone. I know that I've had experience with a few departments in our company who come up with this great policy and publish it, and it does no good for anyone because they didn't think about the consequences for this new policy that they developed in a vacuum. So have a desire to learn what's going to happen and what are the consequences from your decision or your policy that you're coming out with. Also, an understanding of the topic that you're looking at. You have to understand why you're doing something and what you're doing. So the first week on a job probably isn't the best time to come in and start questioning everything that they're doing. First, take in what's going on and figure out the reasoning behind what you're doing. Then maybe you can come up with some kind of constructive comments and you can get into a constructive discussion with someone to then come to a better resolution. When you jump too quick and start offering suggestions, you're often looked at the person who just wants to come in and change everything. And then your suggestions really aren't taken to heart. People just brush them off because you don't really know what you're talking about. The last point of a constructive argument and discussion is to have respect for the other people that you're working with. Now, this means that, of course, you're all going to come to the table with a common understanding of the topic that you're talking about. But just like a Venn diagram where all the circles overlap, everyone coming into the discussion has lots of other experiences to bring in consequences that you might be considering that you don't have. So you need to respect each other and the values and inputs that everyone is bringing into the conversation so that you can work together and have a mutual agreed upon conclusion. Now, going along with this, when I work with people who just do their job, never ask questions, I start to look at them as yes men. And then I quickly start to lose respect for them in their position because I think if you're never asking what's going on or questioning what you're doing, then you're probably not doing the best job that you could be or really understanding. I have a few colleagues that I call upon and kind of ask them for confrontation when I'm faced with an issue that I'm just really not sure the outcome or I want to make sure that I'm doing something right. So we take a look at the different scenarios and I ask them, what would you do? What do you think that we should do in this situation. Even if we come up with a conclusion in the end that's different than what I thought, I at least feel like we've vetted out the circumstance and can move forward feeling like we're educated and making the right decision. So today I leave you with the thought, I pose the thought to you of how do you deal with conflict? And given the question, how would you answer? Describe a time that you had a disagreement with your manager and how you dealt with that situation. Thank you.